Tales of Xillia, another game in the ever-growing Tales of series. A game I have been heavily anticipated since its release in Japan in 2011. Now guys, Tales games are some of my favorite JRPGs, and over the years I've pretty much trusted any Tales game that's been on the horizon. And now comes 2013 and Tales of Xillia sees a release outside of Japan. Now guys, does this game hold up to the Tales of series standard? Does it go well and beyond the standard, or does it go far beneath it, or does it just stay where it is, you know? Well guys, let's see what this one reviewer who reviews JRPGs as a hobby thinks of this game.
Bam! And spin! You ready for this? So stoked! Celebration! Oh.
Alright, let's start off and admit the facts about the characters of the game. They aren't exactly groundbreaking or even all that great. They're not too typical. Sure, Jude is a kind of a nice guy, innocent, growing teenager that knows nothing about boobs.
I'm not even sure I know what we're talking about.
Then you will never know Bazongas. You have to want it, Jude. You have to need it.
But I can say I've seen worse. Milla is a kind of a robotic drone, but there's a reason for that later in the game, and she becomes a pretty nice character. Alvin is the only one that seems down to earth, likable, and he has pretty much no secrets that he's hiding. But you know, I could say this whole cast is pretty engaging. They keep you interested, and they're not gonna say, "Oh, we've seen that already. He's cliche." You know, they may be cliche, but they don't fully embrace the role. Now, the story is kind of an interesting premise. You got Milla, who is a great spirit. She's a spirit Maxwell. She is the king of all spirits. And she is trying to stop the Lance of Kresnik, which is a weapon of pretty much mass destruction that can destroy spirits. So now Drew tags along with her pretty much because I would say he's just bored with life. He doesn't have a purpose in life, so he just decided to tag along with Milla. Overall, guys, the story will keep you engaged. There are plenty of twists and turns to this story that makes it very entertaining to watch. You got some really entertaining villains, and you've got a lot of anime cutscenes to go along with it, and it really keeps it engaging. I really do like the story to this. I won't spoil anything, but I would say that the ride towards the end was great. Now guys, the game's visual style, it takes a step back, I would say, from Tales of Vesperia. Tales of Vesperia, it used a shell-shaded type of graphics to it. And this one used, I guess you could say, regular graphics. I'm not too specific on what graphical term you want to use for this, but I would say it's decent. You know, fields look pretty they look pretty bland and boring. I mean, they look like just color swaps of a different field. You know, you got your forest, your ice field, and somewhat desert zone. But other environments, like the first town you start out with, which I believe is Fenmont, it looks amazing. There's a seaside beach dungeon, and it looks really good. The anime cutscenes are really good. I think they're done by the same studio that brought you Fate Zero, which is a great anime, by the way. Like I said, the cutscenes, there are a lot, and they look great. Now, also the characters, there's an amount of customization that you can use attachments to put onto your characters that you gain from doing side quests, and you can also change your costumes like normal Tales games. There are a couple of costumes that you can unlock within the game, most of which you have to get as DLC, but the amount that you can do with these costumes is really nice. And now you can also customize the attachments to fit anywhere on the character you want. You can resize them, change the color, you know, just blow them up to ridiculous sizes, or put them places that you never thought that they can possibly go and make it look right. It's a really nice layer of customization that I really enjoy. I hope other Tales games use as well. Now, the voice acting, which I can say is pretty good. It's not overly bad. There's no characters that's going to be making you scream, "Where's the Duoyo? Oh my god, I need Duoyo!" No. There's no need for a Japanese voice track. It would have been nice, but you know, we don't have these things. So the only voice I had a problem with that first was Milla. Like I said, she is a robotic drone, but there's a reason for that. But her voice, it grows on you. Everybody else is cool. There was slight, and I really do mean slight, lip syncing issues, but no big deal. When there's a lot of things voice acted, all the skits are voice acted, which I love, and they went back to the normal way of viewing skits, unlike they did Tales of Graces. I never did like the Tales of Graces skit viewing, but This one went back to the tradition, which I really do enjoy. Other than that, the music is pretty good. There are some questionable themes as if I was playing in the Fortress dungeon, and it sounded like I was playing a horror game. Like my brother came in and he thought I was playing a horror game. Other than that, the music is great. Now, Tales of Xillia pretty much just goes to any traditional JRPG route. You'd be going to one town to another, doing events, and proceeding on with the story. But there are side quests that you can do, character quests that you can do. There are ways to keep yourself entertained outside of the story and the battle, which you will be gathering a lot of materials from the monsters you defeat during your travels, and you can use materials to upgrade the item, the weapon store, the armor store, the food store, which there is no cooking in this game. A serious staple is just gone, which I don't really care for. I never really cared for cooking in Tales games. But yes, you can upgrade these to make sure you get better weapons for the bosses and travels ahead. Now, I don't know how much I feel about this. I mean, as I proceed through the story, I assume that the merchants around the game will sell better equipment. This is okay. I guess it gets you something to do. I guess you could say it's busy work to keep you engaged, but I could have dealt without it. I mean, not to say it's a bad thing, but it's a thing that I can say really wasn't necessary. It just wasn't necessary. It just gives you something to do more. It adds to exploration, which if a game is good at exploration, you don't need something as, I guess you could say, tacked on as collecting materials to upgrade a shop, which should be being upgraded as you progress through the game. But it's something different, I gotta say. Alongside leveling up, there's a Lilium orb that acts as a skill tree. This allows you to unlock skills at your leisure, but it's not necessarily as customizable as, say, Final Fantasy's 10th Spill Grid or Final Fantasy XII's license board. It's pretty much more or less a basic skill tree system. That's a new thing for Tales of games. It's just a tad bit vanilla and plain.
I can do this!
Now then, guys, the battle system of Tales of Xillia is pretty much your typical Tales of battle system with an added twist of link arts. Now, in all Tales games, there's a different mechanic that they use. In Tales of Vesperia, I believe it was train strikes. In Tales of Graces, you had chain capacity points, I believe. And now in this game, you have link arts, which is a pretty interesting concept. Now, when you link with one character, it's as easy as pressing one of the directional pads. They will defend you, and they will have your back, pretty much, and they will stop back attacks from enemies. And you can lose link arts that are powerful arts, and you can pretty much devastate your foes with these. I think this is a pretty interesting mechanic, and I really do like it. It keeps you wanting to explore other options for link arts, and you can see what kind of gameplay, how you want to play the game. Now, there are also benefits to linking up with certain party members, such as one member can guard you against magic-based attacks, another member can steal items away from the enemy, and another can break the enemy's guard. There really is a lot of gameplay variety here, and you can also switch party members on the fly during battle to better suit any situation you find yourself in. Personally, I like the linking in this game a lot, and it shines a lot in an action RPG setting. The battle system as a whole is one of the best I've ever seen, and it's really fun and engaging, and I found myself always wanting to come back for more, and never found myself bored playing this game. Definitely, without a doubt, a top-notch battle system. Now, overall, Tales of Xillia is without a doubt an awesome game. I really do enjoy the battle system, I really did enjoy the story, and while the characters were a little bit cliche, they weren't too bad. I've seen worse, and I still like them either way. The music does have some hit or miss tunes, but overall I say it's more hit than miss. The voice acting does not have a Japanese soundtrack, but the dub does a good enough job, and I gotta say, there are no particularly bad voices, or no voices that particularly stick out. Like I said earlier, the Miller's voice is kind of on the bad side, but it does grow on you over time. The battle system is really great and easily the highlight of the game. Now the game's difficulty is a bit on the easy side, as I kicked the game up to moderate from normal, and even on moderate I found the game particularly too easy, so I kicked it up to hard, and it was still a little bit easy. I don't know if maybe I'm that good, maybe other people will have a different opinion, but I'd say this game is definitely on the friendly, casual side of things. The story does take a long time to actually get interesting, but when it does, trust me, it gets really engaging, and some moments are just, what the hell just happened? Why did that just happen? And it really is. The end game is a good experience. Overall, I have to give Tales of Xillia a 9 out of 10. This is one of those games that I'm really in a hurry to go back and play again. I enjoyed my experience with this game and highly recommend it to anyone who's looking for a JRPG to play. It is my first recommendation for anyone looking for a JRPG to play on the PS3. Anyway guys, it's Shadow Elite signing off to play more Tales of Xillia. See you later.